Hello, welcome, it's Blue Triceratops here back yet again, and thanks for joining me. Now look at these two teams because this game is going to go down to the wire, and it is a fantastically fought game from Skyler, one of the subscribers here, and going up against myself in a 6v6 OU singles match on ORAS and X and Y. We both set out with Nidoqueen and Galvantula. I didn't think he was going to lead with Nidoqueen. I figured he would lead with something else, but it doesn't really matter because I get the opportunity to set up Sticky Web because I want to be able to slow things down because I am running a Toxic Orb Facade Zangoose. It's not really seen very often. It's kind of my surprise weapon in this because it's an absolute monster, and I wanted to set up that Sticky Web so that it can get the speed advantage onto various things. So he hits with an Ice Beam. I kind of predicted that, so I wanted to swap into Skarmory because it can also set up on a Nidoqueen. But Nidoqueen, it's doing a little bit too much damage in my opinion. And I do get to Whirlwind it out, but that kind of leaves me in a poor position because, well, now in comes Alomomola. This thing is physically defensive, it's got a huge amount of HP, and traditionally these things carry Aqua Jet, sometimes Knockoff. Sometimes you'll find them using Cleric sets where they have, I believe it's Heal Bell and Wish Protect support for the rest of your team, and obviously Wish restores 50% of your HP to the Pokemon on the next turn that's in there, so a huge HP Pokemon like Alomomola using Wish can actually restore the entire health bar of smaller Pokemon sometimes, so it's a great way to bring up sweepers and slightly frailer Pokemon into the game again. And this one's going up for Scald, and I realize that I can stay in with Roost absolutely no problem because I'm going to gain more HP than he is, because, or you know, he's doing a little bit of HP, but then I think I can go into Venusaur here very happily, take any hit that it wants to throw. I think Skyler predicted me here. I think he predicted that I was going to go for that Venusaur because I had my Skarmory up to nice HP. I was going to swap into my Grass type. I was going to take that Scald quite happily and then hit back with a Giga Drain, threaten him out, or go for Status. And I think he predicted that, swaps into a Psychic type that can handle it. And this is a huge misplay. I should not have done this. Turn 1, my first option, I go for the Leech Seed. That was not a good choice. I realized afterwards my face hit my palm pretty darn quickly here. Go for Sleep Powder, because I have Sleep Powder and Leech Seed. Go for Sleep Powder first, no matter what. If they're going to outspeed you, go for Sleep Powder because you're going to put them down. You may not get a second opportunity to even get a turn. I didn't, so all I managed to do was put a Leech Seed down, and as soon as he swaps out that Latias, as he did there, I end up losing it. And that, absolutely horrible taste in my mouth after that. But he swaps out the Latias to protect it and gets it away from my Weavile. Weavile would have outsped it and one hit KO'd. It's a Life Orb, it's fully attack invested, it's got a Stab, Night Slash against that Latias. It absolutely, no doubt in my mind, would have ruined it. Skyler predicts that attack coming. He knows to swap out, goes into his defensive tank, and I have a Water type here as well. Now, my logic is, if Weavile can't deal with this thing, I'm not going to leave it in there to take a Scald and get knocked out uselessly. Instead, if he's got a Water type on the field that's going to sit there and try to gain HP, I'm going to bring in my Water type and I'm going to set up Dragon Dance on this thing because it doesn't have a way to phase me out. Pretty sure this thing doesn't get Whirlwind, Roar, or Dragon Tail, so I'm going to stay in. And what's the worst that can happen? He can burn me, but after 2 Dragon Dances, I'm already back to normal attack stats and I'll have plus speed, so I think screw it. I'm going to stay in. This is a Moxie Gyarados. It's going to absolutely kick ass if I can get one hit, and then I realize, oh my god, that's not enough damage at all, and this thing has Toxic. So he did well to not show that Toxic immediately. He lets me waste a few turns going for the Dragon Dance. That's pretty darn good because he lets me stay in, wasting time going for the Dragon Dance, knowing that I can't break through that thing. And if I stay in, I keep going for the Dragon Dance because I want to be able to start. I want to go for crits and stuff. I want to go for it, and then in comes the Wish, and I realize this is going from bad to worse very quickly. So if he has the ability to Toxic Stall as well as the ability to Wish onto itself, pretty much anyone who uses Wish also uses Protect, so you can pick up your own Wish. You know, you Wish on turn 1, here we go, Protect on turn 2, and I go for the Waterfall, hoping hoping beyond hope that I'd be able to get the hit in because he would wish swap onto something, but no. Instead, he decides to stay in, and he picks up his own wish using that protect. So I should have gone for a Dragon Dance there. I realize I'm not going to stay in, I'm just going to waste my Gyarados. If I do this, swap out, I've got a super effective Thunder here, and it is a giant super effective Thunder. So he's going to go for Wish. Now, this thing doesn't have a huge amount of special defense. There's going to be a super effective Thunder coming. He knows that, and at best he's going to stay in and he's going to go for Protect. I didn't think he would do that. I thought he would do exactly this. He's going to swap out, he's going to go into Latias to protect, get away from Alomomola. Latias would take the hit but not get knocked out by the Thunder. It would accept a giant Wish. It would then be on the field, ready to take out my Galvantula. That is why I swap into Weavile. I pulled a double switch from Gyarados straight into Galvantula, straight into Weavile without attacking, because it lets me have a super effective Weavile on the field ready to ruin that Latias' day. So I do get the knockout on that thing there, but then he swaps back into Alomomola again, and Alomomola is a freaking monster. This thing is, look how little damage it's taking from anything. Now, if you paid more attention to a battle than I do, you'll notice this. Keep an eye on that thing's health bar. That's all I'm going to say. Keep an eye on its health bar, because it is a pain. I didn't notice it. I don't know if any of you have noticed it. You probably have. I started to suspect something was up with this thing. And then I realized, alright, I've gone into Zangoose, so this is how Zangoose works. Keep an eye on that Alomomola's health bar. That's all I'm going to say. Turn 1, you've got to wait for Toxic Orb to poison you, but that doesn't kick in until the end of the turn, so I like to go for Knock Off on the first turn. So it has Knock Off, it has Close Combat, it has Facade, and it has Protect. I go for Knock Off on turn 1 to remove the leftovers. That's fantastic, that's the end of that. Brilliant. Then Poisoning will kick in, so that doubles Zangoose's attack stat. Then you get Stab on the Facade. Then Facade's power doubles to 140 because you have Status Ailment. Now watch how much damage comes out of this. Skyler very craftily and very cleverly got his physical wall out of the way, because this is a wall breaker through and through. Zangoose doesn't care how much HP and defense you have. It will mess your Pokemon up. And here we go. I didn't expect that thing to outspeed me. An absolute fool I am. But it does get a second KO. So that's KO on the Flygon. It's KO on the Altaria. I mean, Altaria is fairly physically defensive. I mean, most people run them bulky with a Dragon Dance and then throw in not Hyper Rose, Dragon Claw, I believe. So this thing outspeeds me, and I realize it's going to, because it's got a Choice Scarf, but he doesn't want to stay Choice locked and to have to do a hard switch later on. So he simply U-turns out. That allows him to regain some semblance of momentum. He brings in a bulky Pokemon to sit there and face whatever it is I want to bring in, because he knows I can bring in Galvantula, it can't do much. At best I could bring in Gyarados, and I don't know if he's hiding Thunderbolt, but if I bring in Gyarados, he's just going to swap again into Alomomola, so he's got that option covered. Nidoqueen is a good lead for him to U-turn into, and there's always a threat if he stays locked in that I can get up to something else. So he swaps into this thing again. I realize that I'm going to set up more layers of spikes, because I may as well do something useful with my Skarmory, because it's not really going to get the opportunity to do much else for the rest of this damn game. He's setting up Toxic Spikes, which is great. So if his team has a couple of bulky Pokemon and it has U-turn Jirachi in there to help with momentum, and potentially even U-turn on that Flygon, it means that he's allowed to swap and move between his bulky Pokemon very, very easily. And in order for me to match that, I need to move into Pokemon with super effective hits. So he throws out Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes, so that if I want to match his switches with super effective hits so that I can appropriately threaten him, I'm going to start wearing myself down with entry hazard damage and applying Toxic onto various things. So I absolutely love Toxic Spikes on this bulky team. It's a very bulky team focused around making me switch and about him switching himself. Now look at that health bar. This is when I realized something was very, very wrong, and I actually shamelessly went to Cerebi in the middle of the battle to have a look at what kind of stats and abilities this thing had. And a point for you, a golden star sticker for you if you know already what ability this thing actually carries, because I don't. I actually had no idea that this thing is a regenerator Pokemon, and that further adds to the issues here, because it can very freely go for Wish to pass HP on to his Pokemon. So it really, really plays well into the entire swapping game that he's got going on. He can swap Wish, doesn't matter if Alomomola takes damage, because it'll regenerate its own HP every single time it comes out. Look, it's back to full HP again. So he can recycle this thing and use it to continually pass off giant wishes, so that's huge amount of HP onto his other members in the team. It can take hits very well itself, it can spread out toxic itself, it can potentially burn physical attackers on using that Scald, and that is monstrous. I love this thing. It is a brilliant core between Nidoqueen and Alomomola, and they protect each other from each other's weaknesses. Obviously, Alomomola takes any ground attacks and ice attacks aimed at Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is there to take any electric attacks, and it's neutral, I believe, against grass for Alomomola. And I do actually throw out the forfeit because Skyler has me pinned against the wall there, and that was an absolutely cracker, spot on, perfect battle. Well done to Skyler. I absolutely love that team, and it really did give me an absolute thrashing. So if you want to be featured in any of the battles on this channel, you can obviously leave battle replay codes and the like and requests in the comments down below. If you want to battle against me, specifically against my bug type gym, and take part in our gym league, you can follow the link in the description to go over to the hideaway, where you can find me basically there every single day. You can interact that way, request battles, take part in giveaways and competitions and so on, and you can obviously submit any battle replay codes from Sun and Moon as well on this channel to have them featured. If there's anything you want to show off, any fun new strategies, battle royales in singles, doubles, whatever, feel free to let me know. Thank you for the match, Skyler, absolutely fantastic, and I look forward to having a rematch against you, and I look forward to seeing you again, folks, later on for more Wi-Fi battles, more giveaways, and more fun stuff. All the best, bye bye.